The Bar Association of Sri Lanka and the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce proposed a way forward this week to restore political and economic stability. The proposals included the repeal of the 20th Amendment, the abolition of the executive presidency, the formation of a national unity government with a Prime Minister who is able to create a consensus among political parties, a 15-member cabinet of ministers and a 15-member advisory council. In the last few months, protesters too have been asking for a repeal of the 20th Amendment and to bring back the 19th Amendment. But is all as simple as it seems? Let's find out. On Srilanka Life Let's Talk today is the former Secretary of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, Rajeev Amarasuriya. So welcome, Rajeev. Now, the people's call has been to revoke the 20th Amendment, bring back the 19th Amendment, which is what the BASL and the CCC are also proposing. What does all this mean to the general citizenry whose cry is for accountable leadership?
Yes, that is the underlying consideration, that we need a change in this whole system. And of course, those who hold public office must do so in public trust and of course be accountable. Whatever the amendment to the Constitution will have to come through an amendment to the Constitution, and that would necessarily be the 21st Amendment to the Constitution. So the question is whether the 20th Amendment can be removed wholesale and whether we go back to the 19th Amendment or whether it's something in between. We can't go back directly to the 19th Amendment in that way because there are certain features of the 20th Amendment that have to be retained. For example, like the increase of the number of judges of the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, which was increased by the 20th Amendment, will have to be retained and continued with. Also, on the other side, there were inherent failings, as all of us know, in the 19th Amendment. And that was also the basis upon which the 20th Amendment was justified. So those errors and anomalies would also have to be rectified. Also, one must be mindful, this is important, under the 19th Amendment, it was actually the Yahapalana government which operationalized it. And at the time, the President and the Prime Minister were from two different parties. So as much as there were issues, there was also some kind of accountability and checks and balances in those two offices. But in a situation where, for example, say one brings in the 19th Amendment and the President and the Prime Minister are, say, from the same party and work hand in glove, then of course one would still have probably the issues one has today, at least some of the issues, or many of the issues one has today under the 20th Amendment. So whilst looking at changing structures, it is, I think, even more important to ensure that the right people are put in the positions, these positions. Otherwise, of course, it could be all eyewash.
So looking at Sri Lanka's constitution, do you think there needs to be a drastic change, or can we just simply continue like this?
One must appreciate that we have lost our way in the global bigger picture, and that's a reality. And of course, in that context, it would be inaccurate to say that all the blame is to place all the blame on the constitution we have. We have a good constitution which could have driven rapid development. A strong presidency, as you know, could have been a catalyst for this. But we have, of course, been let down by leaders and leadership repeatedly. And that opportunity of having a strong presidency has not been made use of, which has resulted in a lot of grievance and complaint against the executive presidency. This may not be the time to complete constitutional change. That must be an inclusive process. And ideally, change of this nature must come from the people.
So what's the remedy, at least in the immediate, Rajeev?
So I think what we need now is some tweaking and tinkering with what we have and leave the process of constitutional change for a better time, a better day when we can look at it more objectively and we are not pressured by other considerations like the economic issues we presently have.
Thank you, Rajeev. As far as I can see, it's going to be a long road ahead, but we all have hope. And thank you also to the Bar Association of Sri Lanka for being one with the people's voice, ensuring we don't lose sight of justice, fairness and transparency, which is what this protest is all about. Keep us on your radar, subscribe and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and LinkedIn.
We are here to better your lives and champion your every goal. With 12 billion rupees worth of customer benefits in 2020 and a life insurance fund worth over 100 billion rupees, our strength is your strength. You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.